Well, hello, Dana. Good evening to you. Hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday. My name is Michelle Fletcher, and I am the academic recruiter for this college. Thank you all for joining us in this session, and thank you for giving us an hour of your evening. Before we get started, I've got to give a shout out because CVCC will be hosting an open house on next Tuesday, April 13th, from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. There will be a general session, and that session will go from about 6 to about 6:50. And then we will have the breakouts from 7 until 7:30. Now, the breakouts would include sessions like paying for college, online learning and campus resources, industry and manufacturing, a lot of good sessions where you can ask a lot of questions and get the information that you need. As a matter of fact, the industry and manufacturing session, you're going to have like maybe 5 or 6 programs in that one space. So you'll have welding, you'll have HVAC, you'll have mechatronics, you'll have machine tool, culinary. So again, a lot of programs in that one space, and you can ask a lot of questions along the way. In addition to that, hold on, buckle your seatbelt. We will do a drawing for several free 3-credit classes. And each of those classes is almost a $500 value. So that is just an absolute reason for joining us at the open house. Again, several drawings for a free 3-credit class. So please, again, if you can join us for that. Now, you can go onto our website and register. What you'll do is get to our homepage, and if you just look slightly to the right, you'll see a tile that reads CVCC Virtual Fall Open House. Click there, it'll bring you to the registration page, get the registration page filled out, and you are off and running. So we are looking forward to seeing you at the open house. All right, so what are we doing tonight? Well, tonight, like most Tuesday evenings, we want to talk with you about the programs and opportunities that we offer here at CVCC. We're going to talk a little bit about financial aid. We're going to talk about student life, talk about the programs, again, that we offer. We're going to talk about the application process, just again, how to get started. Now, we are expecting a special guest with us this evening, but I'm not sure if that individual is going to be with us. But I will tell you this, that special guest, hopefully if she joins us, will be Wendy Ayers. She is with the Respiratory Therapy Department at CVCC. Now, if Wendy does not join us this evening, because things happen, she will be a part of the open house next Tuesday. So again, I would encourage you to attend the open house because we also have a breakout for health sciences. But in a pinch, Ashley Pearson will speak a little bit about the respiratory program. And if you have any questions, let them come forth because we definitely want to get your questions answered. So feel free to put your questions in the chat. We would love it if you would unmute yourself along the way and ask your questions again in your own voice. We want this evening to be engaging and we want it to be interactive. And so to help with that, we will be launching several polls throughout the evenings. The polls are anonymous and they help us learn a little bit more about how to serve our students. Now, if you would look with me at the bottom of your screen here, you'll see several different buttons. Now, these are tools that you can use to stay engaged with us. And I would encourage you throughout the evening to, use those different features to reach out to us, to stay in communication with us as well. Now, we're going to go ahead and get started, and I am going to launch our first poll for the evening. And that poll is asking the question, what is your main reason for attending the information session tonight? So let's go here. Let me see if I can get this going. We're going to launch this poll and give you a few seconds, a minute or so to respond. Okay, another 10 seconds. All right, we're going to go ahead and end the polling and we're going to share the results. And as you can see here, applying to the college and then enrolling in classes. I promise you, we got you covered for both of those. So we're going to go ahead now, and we're going to have our first presenter for the evening. She's a representative from the admissions department, Karen Alexander. Karen?
All right. Well, thank you, Michelle, and thank you everyone for joining us this evening. We always enjoy getting in front of groups of potential students to walk you through the process and answer all your questions, especially in this remote environment. We just want you to know that the service is still available to you from start to finish, and we'll be here to help you along the way. Now, at least one of you answered in the poll that you're interested in learning how to apply to the college. Others of you may have already completed that step, but I want to share some information about some new information we have added to our application onboarding process that's going to help you get enrolled even faster. If you have not already done so, to start the process, you just simply go to the website, centralvirginia.edu, and click on Apply Now. You will fill out the application. It's a fully online application. It only takes 5 to 10 minutes to complete. And as soon as you're finished with that, you're going to get an instantaneous confirmation. This will let you know that you have been accepted to CVCC. So once you have your confirmation, it's going to tell you if you are an in-state or out-of-state student. Pay close attention to that. We reserve the best available tuition rate or in-state tuition rate for only residents who have been a Virginia resident for at least 1 full year. And if that applies to you, then you should have that marked on your application when you complete. You'll get your student ID number when you finish, a 7-digit ID number that you'll use when you call in to make requests and have us look up information and help you with your account. And a new thing that's going to be launching is within 24 hours, as soon as you get your confirmation to the college, you will have a temporary password that's going to get you into your My CVCC account. So as soon as you have that available, or if you've applied before and have not yet set this up, just go to our website, click in the upper right-hand corner to My CVCC, and you will use that temporary password, or if it's been more than 24 hours, you need to have it reset, you can contact our IT department for a reset on that and get logged into your account. Something new that you'll find once you get in there is there's a VCCS enrollment survey. This is a new feature we are using by which you will report your high school GPA and the classes that you've taken, and it will help us to determine your placement for college. This is used especially if you are within 5 years of your graduation date of high school. If you're more than 5 years out, the system's going to ask you some different questions to ask you to self-inform about the types of classes available and help place you into those. So when you get into your My CVCC account, just make sure you look for that survey, fill it out as quickly as possible. Registration is currently open for both summer semester and fall semester. That just opened yesterday. So it's a great time to get in right now, get your optimal choice of classes, everything that we have available, and get things going. So we'll get you started with that. Ms. Ashley Pearson will talk to you more about the new VCCS enrollment survey when she speaks to you just in a moment. A few other things that I want to tell you real quick that you can do to help yourself get started is just to check your account, make sure there's no holds or anything on. If you do, you can give a call to our admissions and records office. We can help you, like if you have to prove self-sufficiency, if you're under 24 with your residency, anything like that. The system will tell you exactly what might be needed from you. And a few other things you can do is if you have taken any of the test scores, your AP or your SAT, you can have official copies sent to us. That will also help with the placement process. And if you have your high school transcript available or college transcripts, if you've already taken other college credits, just make sure you get those official sent in to us. We can get that evaluated, and that will help you to get the maximum amount of transfer credit that can be applied to your account. One thing I want to point out with the survey and all that we discussed, if you are currently a high school student in high school and you're applying to take classes while you're still a high school student, what we call our dual enrollment program, the survey will not apply to you. We have other means that will help you to get placed into your classes. But for everyone else who is either graduating high school, getting ready to start over the summer or fall, or if you are already graduated and just looking to get your start with CVCC, that will be for you. So I just want to check the chat, see if we have any other questions or anything quickly. You can jump in and ask via unmuting.
Yeah, hey, I got a question.
Yes, Christian.
All right, so I graduated in June. So should I apply now or should I wait?
Yes, go ahead and apply. There's no need to wait. Yeah, you can apply if you want to start taking classes over the summer. If you want to take classes in fall, it will ask on your application which semester you wish to start. So
what's that school like?
What's the school?
Yeah, what is it like? Or y'all doing virtual learning? Y'all not doing no in person?
That's a good question. For the summer, most classes are still virtual, except for those that need to be in person with a lab component. A lot of our health classes, our culinary classes, some of the lab science classes, those are in person. For the
Oh yeah.
fall, we're trying to get more in-person classes back. So you're going to see a whole lot more offerings. You'll have, for each of your standard classes, you may have a fully virtual option, then you'll have an option that is online anytime, which means, you just take it when you would like. And then some that have seated components or hybrid, as we call it, where you have both a seated component and virtual. So as we get into fall semester, which the enrollment just opened, you'll see a lot more options available for seated classes if that's what you're interested in. So we have a variety that will help cover. And another good point too, you're asking if you should apply now or wait. I would definitely say go ahead and apply now, because as the seats start filling up in our classes, you will have fewer selections to make, and sometimes the seated classes fill up or the online classes fill up first. So to get your maximum choice of available seats, go ahead and do your application now, get in touch with our counseling team, and we'll definitely help you get what you want for the fall semester. Good question.
Why I gotta get in touch with the counseling team?
Well, we'll walk you through all that. We'll tell you about the whole process. This is the
That
application.
mandatory?
I'm sorry.
Is that mandatory? You gotta talk to the counseling team? Why?
It's not mandatory, but we encourage you to, so that we can make sure you're taking the correct classes for your program, and that you're in the correct program for your academic goals. So yeah, we really recommend that you talk to a counselor, and I will put the counseling email and phone number in the chat in just a little bit, so you can give us a call and we can get you going.
And Christian, that's how we earn our keep. That's how we earn our pay, when you all reach out to us and talk to us. So come on and talk to us.
Okay.
Any other questions for now before we start talking about financial aid application process?
No, we could keep talking.
Okay, well, hang in there. We love the questions and keep them coming. So I will put my chat contact information in the chat as well. So you'll have that if you need any questions about the application or admissions process. And for now, I will go ahead and pass it off to Mr. Ryan McNamara. He is our coordinator of financial aid, and he's going to talk to you about your options for affording college.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Karen. Hey, everyone. I did want to mention one thing that Christian had said about, do you have to speak with a counselor? And I know Ashley said you don't have to, but it's highly recommended. I will tell you, on the financial aid side, one reason that it is important to meet with a counselor is because a lot of students, when they fill out their own class schedule, they select their own classes, your classes may not be aid eligible, meaning if you're in a certain program of study, and even if it's an elective and you decide to take a certain class, if it does not fall into your program of study, it's not aid eligible, and financial aid may not recognize that class when awarding your financial aid. So you do want to make sure that you're able to be in the classes that you need for your program, or else, like I said, financial aid may not cover it. So real quick, I would like to share my screen with you. We're going to go through a quick PowerPoint presentation. So this is the financial aid portion. So first of all, welcome and congratulations. Congratulations to those of you that are graduating this summer and are considering CVCC as your next step. So we welcome you for that. Let's see. So there's two things to touch on. The first one Karen already mentioned, and that's applying for admission to the college. So right now we want to spend a couple minutes on applying for financial aid. So when you apply for financial aid, it's very simple. There's really almost one thing that you need to do, and that's submit your FAFSA. So the FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid, and the website is right there. It's fafsa.gov. So you want to make sure that you go there. Don't go to fafsa.com or fafsa.edu. Those are websites that are going to charge you for the same thing that you can do for free on your own. So how much does CVCC cost? As an in-state resident, the tuition is $161.25 per credit hour. So to give you an idea of what that looks like, 12 credits is full-time. So if you are registered for 12 credits a semester, it would be 12 times $161.25. So that's what the charges would be, the tuition and fees for your semester. So we're going to talk a little about
Hey,
the
question. Hold on. Hey,
Oh, yes.
how,
Go ahead.
you talking about? I said, all right. So like, so you guys, so how long is a semester? First of all, you paying all that money. How long is a semester?
So a semester is usually around 4 months.
4
So
months.
from August to December or January to May is usually a semester.
So you gotta pay all that money every 4 months.
You need to pay, well, you're going to be charged that much money for the semester. If you're not receiving any financial aid, if you don't do the FAFSA, then yeah, you're going to pay that money out of pocket. If you submit the FAFSA and you're eligible for any grants, we have federal and state grants, and we'll talk about those in a second. If you're eligible for those can pay for your tuition and fees. So you do not have to pay anything if you qualify.
So you don't gotta pay nothing at all. What's the catch?
The catch is you do well in your classes academically and you pass what you register for, so you can maintain your eligibility from semester to semester. There's no catch.
So basically you saying, right? So like all you gotta do is just go to the school, do good in the classes, and they're gonna pay for it.
That's right. Yep. So
Nothing to
say that
it's
again.
that. It's nothing else to it, just that.
That's right. I mean, it's the same, you could go to a 4-year institution and pay 3 or 4 times as much and not receive as much financial aid. And you'd have to still pay out of pocket or possibly do loans for the same classes that you can take at CVCC. So yes, let me finish up on this presentation. Then if you have further questions, I'd be glad to help you. Like I had mentioned, the FAFSA is fafsa.gov. Now, if you're interested in attending this upcoming fall in August, you want to make sure that you submit the 2020-21 FAFSA. When you go to that FAFSA website, it's going to give you the option of a couple different academic years. If you're interested in summer, you want to make sure that you submit the 2020-21 FAFSA. So there's a couple different academic years. But for the most of you, if you're planning on enrolling this upcoming fall in August, the 21-22 FAFSA is what you want to take a look at. So if you're under the age of 24, a parent information will be required on your FAFSA. So just keep that in mind. If you're under the age of 24, then both a student and one parent will need to create a username and password for the FAFSA.
About that.
Yep.
See me, I don't really got no parent. I don't got no parent.
Okay.
I don't live with my
We'll
mother
talk
and my
after.
father. I don't know my father, so
Okay.
yeah.
Do you live on your own?
Yeah, I'm on my own. Yeah.
You have your own apartment,
Yes.
your own health insurance?
No, don't. You need to know that.
Well, we need to verify that you're truly independent, but yes.
Can't you like send a piece of mail to my address or something like that?
Here, I'm going to put my contact information in the chat. So I want to talk to you either this evening or tomorrow. Okay. And we can sort through all that.
Okay.
All right. One thing to keep in mind on the FAFSA is once you submit the FAFSA, if there is additional documentation that the financial aid office needs, make sure that you submit that to us, because we cannot award your financial aid until all of the documents have been received. So make sure you are aware if we need additional documentation from you. Now, some of the financial aid that you may be eligible for. Earlier, I had mentioned the per credit hour, $121 or $161 per credit hour. So now this is the financial aid portion. So when you submit the FAFSA determines financial need, and based on that, it will we can award you either federal grants or state grants. So the Pell Grant, which is the federal grant, for a full-time student, you can receive up to $6,300 for the year. So that's fall and spring combined. And for state grants, there's the Commonwealth Grant, which you can receive up to $2,000 for the year. That PTAP is a part-time grant, and we can award that if you're anywhere from 1 credit hour up to 8. So all that being said, regardless if you're enrolled for 1 credit hour all the way up to full-time, there is aid available for you to attend the college. If your grants do not cover all of your tuition, we do offer a payment plan, and that can take your outstanding balance and spread it out over 3 or 4 months that you can make payments on instead of all upfront at one time. So one of the questions that we get a lot is, can I use my financial aid to purchase books and maybe even a laptop? And the answer is yes. So if the grants that you receive is greater than your tuition and fees, that excess money is yours. So you can take that money and use it in the bookstore. So you don't have to come up with money out of pocket for books or supplies or a laptop, things like that. You can use that extra financial aid money in the bookstore. And then whatever you do not use in the bookstore, you would receive a refund for during that semester. And one final thing, when you're submitting the FAFSA for this upcoming year, it's looking at 2019 income information. So if your income or the household income has changed since 2019, then you can reach out to our office and let us know, and we can talk to you about making possible updates to your FAFSA to make it, more realistic and accurate of your income now versus in 2019. So here's our contact information, our phone number and our email address. Definitely reach out to us if you have any questions. And with that being said, I am going to, let's see, any other questions on the financial aid? Okay, so with that being said, I am going to pass it back to Michelle.
Yes, we do indeed. We have another poll. But I want to say to Christian, it's going to be an absolute treat working with you, because I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at the number of people that's waiting to help you pull your future together and move you forward, son. So Ryan has put his information out there. I'm sure Ashley will put her information out there. There's a whole handful of people waiting to help you, Christian, move things forward. So just sit tight. We're going to get your questions answered as well. So now we have another poll, and this next poll is asking, do you have a computer or a laptop needed for your classes? So let's go ahead and launch that poll and give you a few seconds to respond to that. All right, we're going to go ahead and end the poll, share the results. It looks as though you do have a laptop and you do have reliable internet service. Well, Ashley is going to speak to this in just a minute. Now, it does appear that our guest speaker is not with us this evening. So we're going to go ahead and move things on to Ashley, and Ashley will incorporate within her talk some of the things that you could know about or should know about the respiratory therapy program. So we're going to go ahead and give it over to Ashley. Ashley?
Thank you, Michelle. My name is Ashley Pearson, and I'm a counselor here at CVCC. And I work with students that are interested in our allied health programs. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the respiratory program since Wendy wasn't able to be here with us tonight. Our respiratory program is a 2-year Associate of Applied Science degree. It is selective admissions. Students have to meet certain prerequisites before they can apply to the program. So I'm going to pull up a checklist here for you to take a look at that will help. Let's see. Okay. Kind of give you an overview of the steps you'll want to take if you're interested in applying to our program. So the first thing to do is to apply to the college, which you can do on our website. The next thing you're going to want to do is send in your high school transcript so we can verify that you've had the high school prerequisites, which is 3 years of English, 2 years of math, one of which must be Algebra 1, and then a year of lab science, and 1 year of lab science, excuse me. And then there are also college prerequisites that are required before you can apply to the program, but this year those are being waived. Usually students have to have anatomy and physiology 1 and 2 completed, but you can still apply to the program for this upcoming fall if you're currently in those classes or you haven't completed them. The next step for you is to demonstrate college readiness. And this can be done in a couple of different ways. We need to make sure you're ready for English composition, which is part of the respiratory program. So you can do that by doing the survey that's going to be sent to you after you've applied for admission, or we can use ACT, SAT, or GED scores. So you'll want to be sure to send your, and also if you've had college English already. So there are a couple of different ways that we can demonstrate that. So they also require that you have a 2.5 GPA. If you haven't completed college coursework, that's fine. We'll look at your high school GPA. And it has to be the 2.5 to be eligible to apply to the program. Once all of these items are met, you'll meet with a counselor, myself, or any of my colleagues, and we do what's called a referral. And that's paperwork that we do together that gets sent to Wendy Ayers, the program director. And then that will prompt her to send you an application. You'll fill out that application. Right now it's over email, and then send that back to her, and then she'll contact you for an interview. It is important to know that the program admission is for every fall semester, and the deadline to apply is April 15th. So that's right around the corner. So I encourage you, if you're interested in the program, to go ahead and start working on these things, and to reach out to us in the counseling office so we can help get your referral in on time. I'm also going to, can you see the our homepage? Is that showing for y'all?
No, it's still the checklist.
Okay, let me see here. Thank you. New share. There we go. Can you see it now? Program, the
No.
main page,
Oh,
no?
now we see the homepage. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I'm just going to show you how you can look at the program information from our homepage. So if you go to our homepage, which is centralvirginia.edu, at the very top, you can click on programs and classes. And then you'll see these different tiles. And so these tiles are kind of headings or kind of areas that our various programs fall under. So for respiratory therapy, you're going to want to look at health sciences. And then when you come to the health sciences page, you can click on the respiratory therapy technology tile. And here, the tile, or the page explains what the purpose of the program is, the admission requirements, which I touched on a little bit. And then there's actually a respiratory therapy webpage that you can go to learn more about admissions and the goals and expectations of you if you're in the program. So I encourage you to explore this page. There's a bunch of really good information there. And then down here, if we go back a page and scroll down, you can actually click here, respiratory therapy, the Associate of Applied Science degree. And then it's going to bring you to the program page that lists all the classes that are required for the program. So you can see the general education courses such as anatomy and physiology, college success, and then you see here the RTH classes. So these are your actual respiratory classes. They need to be done in sequence. So that's something to be aware of. And it is a fall, spring, summer, fall, spring program. So it is a two-year program. So there is some information about the respiratory program for you. And now I'm going to kind of change topics and talk to you a little bit more about the counseling portion of CVCC. So the counseling office is kind of we'll get you going from start and then all the way to your finish line. So if you haven't applied yet and are a prospective student, please reach out to us. We're happy to talk to you about the various programs that we offer and what your goals are. And once you've applied to the college, we'll work with you to get you enrolled in classes. In the past, we've had students take the placement test, the Virginia placement test, but as Karen mentioned earlier, that has changed, and we're really excited about the new way for placement for math and English classes. We're going to send you a survey, so after you've applied to the college, you'll complete the survey that's emailed to you. And if you're a recent high school graduate within the past 5 years, the survey is going to ask you what your final math was that you completed, and then your final GPA. And then if you've graduated more than 5 years ago from high school, you'll also get the survey link. And then you'll want to work with a counselor to kind of check in and see, you know, what math and English you feel ready to go into. If it's been a while, you might want to do some refresher classes. So we'll have that conversation with you to make sure we place you in the right math and English for whatever your academic goals are. We don't technically require your high school transcripts, but I strongly encourage you to send them. You might need them for your financial aid application. And of course, you're going to need them if you decide to apply to the respiratory program. So I would go ahead and get those sent, you know, right from the start, so we have them on file. We are currently enrolling for summer and fall. We're really excited about that. The summer session runs from May 24th through July 30th. And the fall session will run from August 23rd until December 17th. So as Karen mentioned earlier, we want you to get enrolled soon. The sooner you get enrolled, the better. That way you have your pick of class times and options, and there's no chance of classes being sold out. So please reach out to us now so we can start working with you on that. We will be offering more on-campus classes this fall. We're really happy to be back, kind of getting back into, you know, how things were before all of this. So we're happy to have more on-campus offerings, but we also know that students might not be ready to come completely back online or on campus. So we will definitely have online classes and virtual real-time classes as well through Zoom. So we have options for everybody. So in the counseling office, we'll help you get started and make sure your application is good to go, that you're in the correct program of study, so that your FAFSA can process correctly. We'll go over your survey results and talk about the different classes that are required for your program, and then what classes you'll want to start in based on your results. And then in addition to that, we're also going to have an advising conversation. So this is an opportunity for us to kind of talk about your academic goals, and we can make a plan together so you can reach that goal. We'll talk about what you want your semester to look like in terms of how many credits you want to take, how many classes you want to take. And in that conversation, we'll talk about balancing, you know, work, school, other commitments outside of school. We want you to be successful. And so we want to make sure you have everything in place in terms of your schedule and what else, what other commitments you have. So now I'm going to kind of show you, I'm going to share my screen again. Our, let's see, let me pull that up. Our homepage again. So I kind of spoke to you about the different, how to access programs and classes. So you can take a look at those tiles and explore the different majors that we have. But then I'm also going to show you some information about transferring. We have a great transfer page. Our transfer advisor, Emily Muniz, is a great resource, and she's put together a bunch of helpful information with regards to transferring. So I just want to show you that. You may have heard about our guaranteed admission agreements we have with both private and public schools in the state. And so each guaranteed admission agreement is different. So it's going to be really important to start working with the counselor early on so we can make sure you're meeting all the criteria for the particular school you're interested in doing the guaranteed admission agreement with. We also have articulation agreements with local schools, and those are agreements for CVCC and a particular school. For example, Old Dominion University, we actually have an articulation agreement with them for the respiratory program. So after you're done the program with us, you can transfer to them and continue on to get your bachelor's degree in health sciences. And then we also have co-enrollment programs with a number of schools locally, so you can actually take classes at a four-year school while you're also a CVCC student. So if you're interested in any of those things, definitely reach out to counseling and we can connect you with Emily to help answer more of your questions. And then let's see. Okay, so once you've enrolled in classes, you're going to have access to the new student orientation, which you'll want to complete. It's an online orientation. It's great to have done before school starts. We go over a lot of really helpful information with regard to being a student at CVCC and the various resources available to you. We're also here in counseling to connect you with resources on campus. We have tutoring available for students. We have the MAL, which is a Math Achievement Learning Lab. We also have the Writing Center, which is available to you even if you're not taking an English class. If you need help with a paper you're writing for history or psychology, they're a resource for you. The library has loaner laptops as well as hotspots. So if you need, internet, if your internet is spotty or it becomes spotty, please reach out to us so we can connect you with a hotspot. We also have a bookstore on campus, and we also have a student accessibilities coordinator. So if you had a 504 plan or an IEP in high school, we want you to come in and talk to Meredith McLaughlin. She's our student accessibilities counselor, and she can help get you accommodations for your classes with us. So as it was mentioned earlier, the counseling office is open now, and you can make an appointment after you've applied to CVCC through Navigate, or you can call us to speak to a counselor. We have counselors, Monday through Friday. Mondays we're open until 7, and then the rest of the week we're open until 5. So we have Zoom appointments available, we have phone appointments available, so we look forward to meeting with you in any way that works for you. And now I'm going to turn it over to Deanne McDaniel, our Student Activities Coordinator.
Thank you, Ashley. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. So you've heard from all of my colleagues tonight about the academic side of CVCC, and I'm going to talk to you about the non-academic side. So when you come to college, you have 2 types of learning. You have your in-class academic learning, and then you have your out-of-class non-academic learning. And you achieve this learning by your participation in clubs and organizations and different leadership roles that we offer outside of class. So you get those, like I said, by joining clubs and organizations and partaking in being officers or certain duties, volunteering for events, taking just leadership roles for, organizing events and things like that. We also have our Student Government Association and our Student Ambassador Program, which are 2 of our biggest leadership programs that we offer on campus. We also annually take our students to a leadership conference that is coordinated by the entire Virginia Community College system. So all 23 schools bring their students together to host a leadership conference. So those are kind of some of the ways that we offer some out-of-class learning for you. Also in student life, if you've ever come to CVCC or you've seen advertisements where we normally do a big picnic or other activities like that, those usually come out of my office. But since we're in this virtual environment, we had to find a way to move that stuff into the virtual world. So I think it's been mentioned tonight where you have a platform called Canvas. That's where all of your classes are listed. Well, we've also made a virtual student center in Canvas so that we could bring that on-campus experience into the virtual world and still have our student engagement with you guys. We have bulletin boards in there. We do a weekly newsletters. All of our events, if there's like a Zoom link or something like that, we post it in the Virtual Student Center so it's easy for you to get to. We also list, as Ashley was mentioning, we have transfer events. Those are also listed in there on your calendar, and other events that may be happening by other departments, but virtually or not. We also list those in there. We'll always have our Virtual Student Center because we'll always have online classes. So it's definitely a way to keep our online students connected with us once we get back on campus. So those are kind of some of the things that would happen in student life. And as everyone has said here this evening, we are here to help you be successful. No matter what department we're in, we are all accessible to you and want to make sure you succeed. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. So I don't think there's any questions for me. So I'm going to turn it back over to Michelle, and thank you for joining us.
All righty. Thank you, Deanne, and thank you, panel. A lot of good information helping these students to get started with us at CVCC. Well, this is the Q&A portion of the evening, and we want to open it up for any questions that you might have. So at this point, it's all yours. Please ask the questions. We love questions. We want to make sure that you got the information that you needed this evening. All right, let her rip. All right, while you all are thinking about it, this group is relatively small, so I'm going to go around the horn a little bit because I want to know, and just not myself, but the team would like to know what you're interested in terms of your program of interest, what you're looking to do career-wise. Now, we would usually have a poll that would ask that question, but we didn't get to that, so we're going to do it this way. So I'm going to start with, and listen, nobody's on the spot, so if you don't care to answer, I will definitely respect that. But Burlington, I think, is the last name. What are you looking at studying at CVCC? Mage, are you out there? All right, well, we'll keep moving. Rose, I look like you're on an iPhone. What are you looking to study at CVCC? Oh, you guys not helping me out now. Come on. All right, Dana.
Hi, good evening.
Oh, I got myself a winner.
I was looking at the nursing program. And I guess I did have one question that I was gonna ask. I'm looking at registering for the fall semester, and I know that not all of them are going to be in person or the variety of options. And some of them are very specific on it's already labeled, whether it's virtual or online anytime. And then some it has like the to be announced. And so I guess my best option is probably just to email the instructor at this point to see if they know, or if it's going to be just because it's not clear.
Yeah.
Let Ashley take a shot at that for you.
Yeah,
Ash?
thanks, Dana. That's a really great question. I think when you see the TBA, if it's an online class or it's a virtual, no, if it's an online class, it's going to probably say TBA. It can also be TBA for the instructor if we don't know who the instructor is yet. So, but I'm happy to talk with you if there's a specific class that you have questions about, and kind of work with you.
Okay, great. I was actually going to email you because
good.
I already did register for the classes that I'm hoping to take. It's just I'll be going back to work, and so I would really like the online anytime, just for the maximum flexibility.
Absolutely, sure.
But I'll send you an email with those classes that I registered for, just to see if you have any more insight on those.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and I work with students that are interested in nursing, so yeah, I'm happy to touch base with you, and we can get you going.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, great. Christian, where are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Any more questions? And what are you looking to do
question.
career-wise? Yeah, what do you want to do?
Me,
Yes.
I'm trying to become a real estate agent, but not for a long time though. I got a little plan.
You have a little what?
I have a plan.
Okay, you have a plan. Okay.
Yeah.
What are you looking to study at CVCC?
Well, whatever y'all trying to teach me, things I should know about, like taxes and financial things like that.
Okay. Well, I would definitely encourage you, and I think Ashley has already done so. You want to speak with a counselor because they will help you kind of flesh out what it is you're looking to do. And not only that, Christian, will they help you flesh out what you're looking to do? They will be able to help you expand and take a look at the possibilities of what you may not even be thinking about right now. That's the beautiful thing about sitting down with a counselor. They will hear you and be able to say, okay, I hear where you're trying to go, and this is how you can do that, but have you ever considered this? And so by all means, make us earn our keep, sit down and talk with a counselor. You said you had a few more questions. What do you got?
Oh, I said that?
You said you had some questions. What can we answer for you?
I mean, like I said, like, what's the teacher like, or the professor, so y'all call it? What's that person like for the degree I'm trying to pursue?
Well, here's what I would say, Christian. It sounds like a lot of questions that you're going to have, you're going to need a one-on-one, and you're going to get with a counselor and sit down and talk with them. But that's because depending on what you're looking to do, we will talk with you about, different instructors, not so much about how they teach and that sort of thing, but in terms of just making sure the fit is good and getting you connected in a way that's going to work for you. So it sounds like, just the whole college experience is going to be very new for you, not only because it's your first time coming to college, but maybe even just kind of understanding how it's very different from high school. And I promise you that it is very different from high school. So we want to get those questions answered for you, but I think it's probably going to be a one-on-one situation that's going to, you're going to sit down and somebody's going to answer those questions for you. But by all means, reach out. All right, Kim Ivory, are you out there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm taking the call for my son because he's running late from football practice.
Okay.
But he's interested in starting with you all and transferring.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. And do you know what his interest is in terms of?
And his interest of study is physical therapist.
Okay. All right. You have any questions that our counselor might be able to answer for you, or a financial aid
Not right
guide
now, but
application?
I've already done that part. I just need to reach out. I'll email you all to get an appointment so he can come get that schedule,
Beautiful.
or call you all or Zoom to get that schedule going.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. Panel, do you have any questions for any of our perspectives on the call?
No, but I appreciate it. It was informative. I think y'all did a good job with the slideshows.
All right. Well, very good. Well, listen, just a couple more things, and I'm going to let you guys go. We have one more poll that we like to put out, and that poll is just basically asking, did you find the information useful, helpful? Was the information worth your time? And did you learn anything new about opportunities and programs at CVCC? All right. There are the results there. Going to share those results with you. And it looked, panel, like you guys, as always, you got the job done. So thank you very much for that. Couple of reminders, and then I'm going to say goodnight to you. Please check out CVCC's homepage, and Ashley took you there a couple of times this evening, because that's where you will find the tile that you will go to click in and get to the registration form that would allow you to register for the open house. Again, that is for next week, Tuesday, April the 13th. Also a reminder that these information sessions are recorded. So Kim, if you want to, you and your son, again, can go to that same homepage, that same tile that has the open house. Right above it or beneath it has information about information sessions. And you can click in and go in and look at any of the previous information sessions as well. Now, this session probably won't be included until maybe the end of the week, but we have other sessions, again, that you can definitely take a look at. We thank you so very much for sharing an hour of your evening with us. We hope to see you in a future information session, and we look forward to virtually meeting you at our open house. Have a good evening.
Anybody do the things you do before? They say, move for me, move for me, move for me.